Good afternoon, Hattiesburg. Thanks for joining us for this COVID-19 briefing for Wednesday, November 25th. We'll start with today's testing numbers from all of our healthcare organizations as of this morning. Between Forest General, Merit Health Wesley, Hattiesburg Clinic, Simrai, and the Moffett Health Center at USM, 88,914 tests have been conducted, with 9,701 of those positive, 78,510 are negative, 703 tests are currently pending. In the hospital today, between Merit Health Wesley and Forest General, there are 73 people who are COVID positive. That's 9 over where we've been for the last 2 weeks. And of those 73, 19 are in the ICU right now, just about 1 over where we've been for the last 2 weeks. While hospitalizations still are over that 70 mark, which is a very concerning number, we are still seeing ICU admissions stay below that 20 mark, and we hope that as people come into the hospital, that there are some new therapeutics out there that they can get those folks in, get them treated, get them out without having to go into the ICU. Statewide today, there were 1,092 new cases reported. There were 16 new deaths. Unfortunately, one of the new deaths yesterday came from Forrest County. We send our condolences to that family, and that takes today this year's totals to 86 deaths in Forrest County and 49 in Lamar. New positive cases today after a slow day yesterday where there were only 10 new positive cases. We saw 32 positive cases in Forrest County, 17 in Lamar, so just under 50 for the entire metro area. Since this began, Forrest County has seen 3,713 cases. Lamar County has seen 2,834. The 5-day average with yesterday's total of only having 10, that came down. Still well above 60, still in sort of the highest range that we have seen since this began. We also look at our inside 14-day number. This is the number of people who have received their positive test result in the last 2 weeks, and this is the number that concerns us both in Forrest County and Lamar County. But Forrest County, that number is at 406 right now. That's actually doubled in the last 2 weeks. In Lamar County, that number is at 297. So as you can see, over 700 now combined when it comes to these active cases. That's gone up by 300 in the last 2 weeks. As you can see, inside 14-day, a week ago we were at 294 in Forrest County. A week ago we were in 204 in Lamar County. Both of those are up. So in 1 week's time, we've gone from 498 to 703. Hospitalizations also up, 62 to 73. ICU still relatively even, but still up by 2. Our goals continue to be protecting the vulnerable. These are people over the age of 60, people with underlying or chronic health conditions. Also want to prevent overrun of the healthcare system by slowing the spread. We'd love to see, particularly as we get into shopping season, prioritizing public health while allowing the private sector to continue operating. The factors that we lean on for this are the widespread availability of testing, and just a reminder that on Friday, while testing centers will be closed tomorrow, except for maybe cough and fever clinic, on Friday you will still have the opportunity to use the drive-through service at the Department of Health, which is at the corner of the 42 bypass and Highway 49. C.E. Roy will also be there, so that test is still available. Wearing masks, watching our own data, listening to all voices. Part of that listening to all voices is our weekly conference call that we hold with our hospitals, with Hattiesburg Clinic, with our universities, school districts, and other government leaders in emergency management. So we're talking to Hattiesburg Clinic today. There are a couple of stats we want to update you on. The positivity rate continues to remain higher than normal. Positivity rate, of course, is the percentage of those total tests that come back positive. When we saw this spike in October, we were seeing positivity rates of 11.3, and then toward the end of the month, 10.2. That number is now come to 12.8 and 12.4. The equally concerning thing is, in that first part of October, those higher positivity rates were typically people that were younger. And so, as you can see here, back in early October, the percentage of new cases under the age of 20 were 30% as high as that first week of October 11th. Well, that number is now down to 12.2%, and of course this week it's only been 3 days, but we're still seeing the percentage of new cases under the age of 20, that's down. Furthermore, the average age of new positives is going up, which sort of makes sense given what the slide you just saw. Typically, we've been between 39 and 42 in terms of average age. Of course, you can see the week of October 11th, we were as low as 36.5 because there were so many high school students and college students getting COVID. This week, however, 3 days in, we're at an all-time high of 50.1. Now, there are still some pending tests out there, But still, that doesn't bode well for us, because when you combine those factors of higher positivity rates and higher age, you're looking at a group of people who are more likely to end up in the hospital. We don't want anyone to get COVID, but when the people getting COVID are under the age of 20, they're more likely to recover and not have severe symptoms. However, when you have an average age of 50.1 in terms of your new positive cases, these are folks who are very likely to end up in the hospital or worse. And so this is a concern, particularly as we look at how this is going to affect our health system and our available hospital rooms and ICU beds over the next few weeks. So I say that, as we have mentioned earlier, it's important to make good decisions this Thanksgiving and over the weekend, particularly as shopping begins. That's important. Of course, Executive Order 2020-23 takes effect today, starting at 10 p.m. this evening. In-house service for restaurants and bars will have to cease. That will be the case each day until December the 12th, and then we'll reevaluate our data then. And just a reminder, if you have a child, a grandchild, or know someone in Hattiesburg Public School District, if they're middle school or high school, they will be virtual only the week after Thanksgiving. Elementary school will continue as they are, but right now they're going to evaluate being virtual only the week after Thanksgiving to see if numbers are still in good shape, and they'll make a decision on whether to continue that through the end of the semester. Finally, our act of courage. The act of courage is a challenge to you, hoping for acts of kindness. For anyone that you know that might be experiencing Thanksgiving differently this year. And we know that we've lost 135 people in our metro area to COVID this year. And so there are many families who are dealing with their first Thanksgiving without their loved one. And there are many other people who have been isolated all year because they are at risk. We're thinking about veterans, people in nursing homes, elderly folks who can't travel or can't have family this year. I encourage you to reach out, make a phone call, set up an opportunity to Zoom or FaceTime, drop off an extra plate of food. Right now, part of the great thing about this community is that we do care for each other, especially when things go bad. And this is one of those really challenging times this whole year has been, and we encourage you to do that. And just a final word. A few weeks ago, we asked you to write down in one word what you were thankful for, even in the midst of 2020 and all of the heartache that it's brought. And you responded with some really great things that you were thankful for, like home and support and community. We asked children from our community to come put their handprint on the City Hall fire hydrant. And it's a real testament to what I think our community values most, and that's each other. And I hope this Thanksgiving, regardless of the loss, despite everything we've been through, I hope that you still find things that you are thankful for. And I hope this holiday season, particularly this Thanksgiving as we go into December, that we can really find an opportunity, and I know that we're all tired. I hope that this holiday season strengthens our resolve to do what we have to do to protect ourselves, to protect each other, and ultimately get through this. I wish you and your family and all of your loved ones a very happy Thanksgiving.